I've come.
So by this point in time, you should know that I kinda love the first 3 Michael Bay Transformers movies. They're a sloppy mess of bizarre ideas, awkward humans, and cocaine-fueled action. But they're special. And by this point, you should know that I think Age of Extinction is about as appealing as a gorilla's anus. Which is a bit harsh. I've actually seen some gorilla anuses that really make you think. But it's not like there are no good things about it. It has some cool designs, some really nice ones in fact. But oddly, Night Optimus Prime was not one of my favorites, like a lot of other people. When I first saw it, I'll be honest, I kinda hated it. Because I feel like Prime's first Bayverse design was absolutely perfect. A great reinterpretation of Optimus that still feels recognizable, just with some kick-ass hot rod flames, which not only looked cool, but actually had function. And no, was not to go faster. In interviews, Michael Bay talked about how red could be a pain to film at the time due to it being so easy to overexpose, and the red flames were there to invoke G1 colors while still being primarily blue. As someone who's filmed several red toys, I definitely see what you mean, Monsieur Bay. Also, they just look cool. And on top of that, like a lot of the early Bay movie designs, you can see where each individual vehicle part goes within the robot mode. Every window, every panel, every whatever those little spiky bits on his shoulders are. But here, where'd truck go? Where'd truck go? Why is there so much blue? Why does he have a Yoko Littner style fire bikini? That's Flame Wars territory. But this design did grow on me, though, as pointed out by my buddy Mensch. Everything grows on me. Take of that what you will. Weirdly, what kind of caused me to turn around is this surprisingly charming UK commercial with Optimus Prime just vibing, going on vacation. Mostly because it's one of the few times we see Bayverse Optimus let loose, even if he's definitely not voiced by Peter Cullen.
But I must return to help the people of Great Britain.
Apparently that's the blind surfer himself, Peter Gustin. Guess it makes sense why Optimus is beach body ready.
Surf's up, Megatron. Oh shit!
Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand.
Also, given the insanely untoy-friendly transformation this guy has, I've always been curious about toys that had the arduous task of trying to make it work in toy form. And it's been a bit of a messy affair, with inaccurate monstrosities or kibbly little pibbies. Indeed, it seemed like we weren't going to get a good generation-style figure of Prime here. Though weirdly, the even more where plane go design of Megatron in The Last Knight, no problem translating into toys with a good leader and Voyager class. I do have the Unique Toys Challenger Masterpiece style figure, which for the record is an amazing piece of third-party magic, almost perfectly capturing the design with an equally fantastic truck form. But it seemed that third-party MP scale and non-transforming Yellow Park figures were the best we were gonna get. But then, in the year of our King of Town 2025, when it seemed like Hasbro and Takara are only concerned with 86 as far as Studio Series go, Jesus, we finally got Age of Extinction Prime in all of his oiled up bikini splendor. Now before my usual rigmarole, we have to address some elephants in the room.
Hey, sorry for the interruption, but have you subscribed yet?
Well, why not?
Because not everyone who watches this video may be subscribed. I upload new videos weekly alongside other shorts and live streams, so hit subscribe and hit the bell for updates on new videos. Once I hit 7,500 subscribers, I'm planning a big retrospective on Metroplex, so that's something to get excited for. Also, consider becoming a channel member. Your financial support goes into making these videos and would be a massive help. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
First and foremost, while this is indeed a leader class figure, it is definitely Voyager size. For a bit of size comparison, here's Voyager Studio Series Galvatron, Studio Series Dark of the Moon Optimus, which is just an upscaled Voyager, and of course, Laser Prime. Some people cried foul at this, but it does mean he scales properly, and trust me, you'll see where the leader budget went later in this video. And if Optimus will
Forgive me.
he does feel really good in hand. Very chunky and durable. Like it feels almost like Armada plastic quality. It feels very succulent to hold. And for that secondary elephant, well, the back of his head isn't painted at all. The stripes don't reach all the way. I'm autistic and anal, and this frustrates me. Also, he's got quite a lot of kibble. Now, I should note, the rest of the detail and sculpting on this figure is absolutely stellar. Obviously, it was never going to be fully film accurate for a figure that transforms in this size, but I'm still really impressed with how much they got in. Everything is still super detailed with just the right metallic blues and silver, and while there is a lot more gray than I'd like, it doesn't look bad at all. Dare I say, I think he looks even better than Studio Series Dark of the Moon Prime. I think it's just due to the color choices. It's a much better choice of blue. But the truck bits had to go somewhere, and we don't have the room to do a crazy inside-out transformation style like Unique Toys did, though we still kinda do? More on that later. So they end up going on the legs and back. However, I don't mind this, as it solves the problem of where truck go without going too far in my opinion, though that's just me. And the backpack has actually been organized up enough that it actually looks tidy from a number of different angles, and doesn't feel like a lazy tacked on afterthought, even compared to some Masterpiece style figures. And you can even take it off if you're so inclined because it's on a mushroom peg. But I'm going to leave it because in my opinion, it kinda looks a little messier there without it. But that's just me. Accessory time! You get a small Energon machete, shield / gun, a big ol' Excalibur-like sword, and this nifty holder piece so it can plug into the back. The only bummer with the holder is you kinda have to flip up the truck roof to plug it in. Makes the backpack more obvious, which does spoil the profile a bit, but it's not the worst. I guess I should address the box real quick because first up, this is the new look for Generations figures in general. I quite like it actually. It's nice and to the point with character blurbs returning, and I like the different color designation for which subline. Though I do hate that the numbering system is gone from the sides, so they don't count up as they go along. I don't collect boxes, so I don't care, but someone out there will. Also, no more cardboard backdrops, which I'm okay with. They ended up in the recycling bin anyways. So the figure looks really nice. Like, I'm not even the biggest fan of the Knight Optimus. I'm not thirsty like that. But I gotta give the devil his due here, even with the wacky kibble. But how well can this brave knight fight in battle? And by that I mean, how does he pose? Ball jointed head, though these neck pads can kinda get in the way. Full rotation at the shoulders, T-pose. The shoulder pads are double hinged and swivelable, that's totally a word, allowing for plenty of movement. The elbows are not only double hinged, but are perfect elbows. Hinge at the wrist as well as rotation, and hinged fingers, which again, just adds a little bit more personality. There's kind of a butterfly joint, but disappointingly, it only goes backward. I think some forward butterflying would have made this already dynamic figure god tier, though thankfully you can still do the resting sword pose even without it. These skirt flaps go up, allowing for full 360-degree waist. He's spreadable like a fine tub of margarine. Rotation at the upper legs, knees go back 90. Rotation at the feet with both adjustable heel and toes and an amazing pivot. So yeah, articulation is great. While I would have liked a proper butterfly joint, it still works spectacularly well and is super well balanced, even pulling off this pose of the week. But all of this doesn't quite answer one question. What makes this guy leader class? Certainly not the accessories like some figures. What drives him over fellow Studio Series figure Galvatron, apart from a much tidier design? Well, let's start the transformation and sweet mother of Mary! Oh. The last step to connect everything is a bit of a pain, unfortunately. It really doesn't want to tab in sometimes. Shame, because the transformation otherwise is peak stuff. Very complex, but all in a aha kind of way, with lots of fun steps, and the truck, that is delicious. Almost everything is on point, perfectly mimicking the source material to a T. Everything from the midlife crisis flames, the curves, the 6 exhaust pipes, it's fantastic. The back gets a little messier, but still overall great. This is a phenomenal truck, and dare I say again, I actually prefer this to the Dark of the Moon Prime truck, with much less obvious robot paint and way more detailing, such as all the ridged metal. And even some nice little touches like the truck branding. It rolls well, and overall it's just pleasurable. Weapon storage is still as goofy as ever though, never like that. But overall, this figure is absolutely phenomenal and one of the best live action Studio Series figures in quite a while, which just seems to be less and less of these days. It's extremely posable, the transformation is complex but fun. It's overall a grand old time, even at the $50 price tag. It's well worth it for the sheer experience of it. The only problem I have with it is there's gonna be a freaking Nemesis primary paint, isn't there? But what about you? How do you feel about this figure, Optimus Prime's design, or Age of Extinction in general? Because there are defenders of the movie, somehow. Let me know in the comments and please subscribe.
Oh my.